What's going on, guys? It's your boy Yaz. We are back here. We're gonna be running into the danger room here, and normally we pick our boy Spider-Man, and of course as well we will be going with. You can actually go Scarlet Spider, which will be good for the doppelgangers. But I found for consistency, I actually like Peter B as well here. Peter B is actually really good here, just because he does a lot of the cleansing. And we're not gonna go every single node here, but hopefully you guys are able to see here that even if you can't go on this one here. And also, you don't need to have mods or anything like that. The mods are pretty plain Jane. Just make sure you have all the free ones equipped. But you should be able to just hit basic here and get some points built up. And you can rinse and repeat. Honestly, you can do this a few times just to kind of get some points building up here. Getting speeding ticket, getting any of the ones that will stop the speed will help as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys are able to see that we can take advantage of the fact that we can utilize some of these early mods here early on. Yeah, danger room is always fun. I like it because on my baby account as well, you can take advantage of the fact that it is quite easy to do, even though you're starting out the game and you don't need to have these characters unlocked as well. The rentals actually work pretty solid as well, so hopefully you guys can take advantage of that. But yeah, basic here to the end, and we'll do a couple sections here. But like I said, probably the most problematic node is node number 10, and we'll quickly show you guys how I do it. And obviously strategies can change depending on what mods you pick up along the way, but anytime you see a gold one, pick up the gold mods, pick up the purples if you can as well, and hopefully helps you guys out here. Yeah, we're gonna pick up some of these along the way. And again, always go for the care packages, just for the full clear. You don't necessarily need to do all the attack ones. And then for this one, you can pick up honestly, they're all good choices. We'll pick up Noir because he's fast. Avoid the big bosses, pick up the heals. That'll make it easy for you guys. Yeah, and then we can go into this one here. And like I said, fairly easy. We'll jump to the node number, I think it's node number 10. That's the problematic one. But like I said, you can do the first couple of ones here and build up some points, get the speed and kit ticket, get the agility, get the plus 10% speed. That's going to help you cruise through even difficulty 11 or 10 pretty smoothly here. So hopefully you guys are able to see that here. So again, picking up these easy ones, get some points, fairly easy, fairly straightforward. All right, so we made it to the problematic one, and this is one where having agility, having speeding ticket helps to prevent all the crazy speeds. But if you can't get this one down, you may have to just rinse and repeat and try it again here. We do have some decent characters at the start here, so this will help us out. We'll throw an initial attack wave here. Do you guys remember when I picked up some heals along the way? So this is where you can come in here with basically a sack wave to absorb Vulture's specials and ultimates, and same with Superior Spider-Man. So that will help you guys out if you can get those along the way. And here the whole point of this is just so we can absorb some attacks. And Peter B actually, this is the reason why we pick him early on, is he does a really good job of taking care of these negatives for us. Spider-Man is obviously Spider-Man, but having, like I said, Peter B here in his corner helps kind of take care of some of these negatives. Luckily for us, our Spider-Man is pretty juiced up, so he takes care of a couple characters. And I think what ended up being a sack wave ends up being a kill wave, just because our team is so strong, and just some of the damage mods we picked up along the way here as well helped out. But like I said, Peter B comes out pretty massive here when he gets to his turn. He'll throw the ultimate here so that we can kind of cleanse a little bit, get some AoE damage, and get some of these nasty negatives off of us. And then from that point on, yeah, you can pretty much take control of this section, right? Like I said already, having speeding ticket will completely block these guys' speed out. But unfortunately, yeah, we have to pick that one up here once you kind of get some more mods. And you can do this one as well here with the Scarlet Spider and Spider-Man. If you have the clones also works really well. I'm going to run this again, and I'm going to see if I can get a Scarlet Spider example as well here, just so you guys can kind of see both versions of it. But this one's quite fun. I like the Peter B version just because, like I said, he gives a lot of heals. And he is very good on this particular danger room, just because he gives a lot of the team some sustain, and you don't really need to worry about the heals and the damage side of things, so long as your characters are picking up some decent mods along the way, whether it's the damage mods, whether it's immunity mods, whether it's safeguard. All those will help out, and you guys will be able to take care of this nasty section here quite easily. We're going to zoom to the boss section after this one, because I think this is probably the hardest node, and then the boss section is the next hardest one. So we'll zip through this one as well here so you guys can see how we handle the boss with this particular lineup as well. All right, so we're going to dive into the last one here. I think this is the one that people run into issues the most here, and you always want to check in the shop, make sure you can get some of these gold mods if possible, and anything that can help kind of limit, if you have safeguard, if you've got duplication, if you've got any type of cool mod that you can take care of. For this particular one, we need to cancel out the null ultimate and the null special before we can do anything meaningful. So picking up those health refreshes along the way is one of the reasons why we did that. Now, Peter B is also really good here because he's really tanky, but like I said, just because I'm running this current team doesn't necessarily mean this is the only way to do it. Scarlet Spider is also really good here with the doppelgangers as well. And people have indicated that having, the other versions of Spider-Man as well are also quite effective. So it really depends. Really depends on your lineup. Really depends on who you guys get on your run here. And this one is the strategy that worked for me. And I may probably try maybe a different comp when I run it on my baby account as well here. So keep in mind as well, when you go through this one here, just absorbing that no ultimate and some of these other abilities will help you out here, and then we'll go back in here with to absorb the null special as well here, so we can get rid of Carnage. Carnage is really bad for this particular node just because he absorbs and gives so much speed. When he gets the damage across, he spreads the speed bar to the entire team, so you want to make sure that you can cancel out Null's ultimate and his special. You don't necessarily need to use 3 characters on the first sack attack if you don't want to. We just use 3 because we have a lot of heals. But Spider-Man here, he will absorb some of the attacks so that we can, also get some more hits here. But, of course, the most important thing, like I said, is getting that Null special off, so then we don't have to worry about it. So then we can just revive Spider-Man, and we can go back to getting into the last attack. Now, keep in mind, because this is the last node, you may not be able to one-shot it as well here on the next attack. You may require more than multiple heals. So I'm going to speed the footage up here so it's a little faster. But the whole goal of this one now is so we can get some chip damage here. We are not hoping for a one-shot. We are just hoping for chip damage so that we can take out some of the stragglers. Those being characters that don't heal themselves. For example, like Black Cat, Scorpion Breaker, Lizard. Those are characters that are non-symbiotes, and by going after the non-symbiote characters, this will help us out here because they have a lot of the stuns from Black Cat, the ultimates and specials from Scorpion Breaker. They're extremely annoying, and if you can focus on some of those characters and get rid of them while you can, do that up. So we are, like I said, we're just trying to do some damage here to some of these guys before we bring in our kill wave. But yeah, like I said, just try to get in some chip damage here. It doesn't necessarily need to be, like I said, the one shot. And we are trying to, just survive at this point here. Loosen the load up for a little bit for us here before we go in with our final attack wave. And hence why we loaded up on all the heals. And as I already said before, this is probably not the only way to do it. This is just the way that I found to be quite effective using Peter B. Parker. But you can, like I said, use other variations with Scarlet Spider, Spider-Man Paftier, who crits like a crazy animal, and some of the other characters as well. So it really depends on what comes your way and what kind of strategies you want. I think that's why people like Danger Room so much, because there is a lot of flexibility and a lot of strategies and different ways you can do it. The one way doesn't necessarily have to be the only way to do it. So we take out a couple more characters, and as I already said, we're slowly kind of ticking down the damage and the health on some of these guys. Like I said, Lizard and Black Cat, nice. Just good damage here. We also want to take as much damage as well off of some of these symbiotes if you can here before the wave gets cleared. Unfortunately, like I said, it's just going to be dependent on your damage and what mods you picked up along the way. But taking care of Riot and Quicksilver symbiote is going to be our next task. And that's going to be important here when we come in here with the last wave. But as you guys see right now, very lengthy battle, so hence why we had to speed this up. We take care of the silver symbiote first, just because he can cleanse and destroy a lot of our positives, and he can also evade. So he's not a good one to keep alive. So this is why we went after him. But yeah, like I said, we'll start ticking around some of these other guys. Spider-Man's going to do a special, and now the animations are all wonky because, yeah, it's just a very prolonged battle and lots of buffs, as you guys can see here. But yeah, the mechanics of this is, like I said, straightforward enough. Yeah, Carnage does come back, which is unfortunate, but it's, it was a lengthy battle, and now we can use the last of our heals to bring up the last attack. We'll bring up everybody here one more time, and this should do it. Quite quite an easier node to look at now that we've taken out some of those stragglers. And then again, like I said, taking care of Riot's pretty important, just because Riot is dangerous because he can kind of cleanse our trauma. He can cleanse and heal up everybody, and we don't want that. Also, keep in mind, No is also a dangerous one as well. So you can kind of pick and choose those characters depending on, depending on where their health is at and which ones may be easier to take down. But, focus on Riot, focus on No if you can, and try to get rid of those characters here before they can become too dangerous. For myself, I was just trying to do damage here across all of them, and it worked out that we kind of just killed off Toxin and Black Cat in the process. And then, yeah, then we can kind of go after the other stragglers here. And then it looks like in this particular situation, we are leaving Null last just because the other characters died off. So that's it, guys. That's the run. Quick and fast, just to get you the early strategy on it. Again, Peter B and Spider-Man was kind of who I started out with, and the other two characters may be dependent on who you pick up along the way as well. But Scarlet Spider is a very good addition if you guys can get him. Other than that, that is the lineup in a nutshell, and hopefully you guys are able to get through the first run of the Breaker, or sorry, not the Breaker, the Danger Room, and I will see you guys in the next one.